Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Palek. If you're here for the first time, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. This channel is all about becoming a better version of yourself, and this includes all aspects of your life, your character, your finances, your physical and emotional well-being. So today we're going to speak about something that is not always properly tackled or properly discussed in our communities, and that is emotional abuse. Before we proceed, allow me to make this disclaimer. I am not a psychiatrist and I'm not a therapist. I believe that each and every single one of us have experienced something or go through things, and that we all ought to share when we can. Emotional abuse is one of the hardest forms of abuse to recognize. It can be subtle and insidious. It can be overt and manipulative. Either way, it chips away at the victim's self-esteem, and they begin to doubt their perceptions of reality. Some of the mental and emotional abuse may be obvious, but when you're in the midst of it, it can be easy to miss the persistent undercurrent of abusive behavior. It can happen to both men and women. This type of abuse includes psychological games and attempts to control, to frighten, and to isolate you. It's in the abuser's words and actions, as well as their persistence in these behaviors. Emotional abuse can exist alongside physical abuse, and sometimes it can exist on its own. It is as destructive as physical abuse. However, in most countries, unfortunately, it is not recognized legally as a form of abuse that is punishable by law. The abuser could be a spouse, a romantic partner, it could be your business partner, a family member, or even a friend. So no matter who it is, no one deserves it, and it's absolutely not your fault. Emotional abuse is also a way to control other people by using emotions to criticize them, to embarrass them, to shame them and blame them, and manipulate people. In general, a relationship is emotionally abusive where there is consistent pattern of abusive words and bullying behavior that wear down a person's self-esteem and undermine their mental health. So emotional abuse can take a number of different forms, including false accusations, possessiveness, attempts to control your behavior, what you wear, what you do, where you go, isolating you from family and friends so that you do not have that support network, shaming and blaming you, amongst other things. These types of abusive behaviors may sometimes be disguised under the appearance of being loving, being caring, being normal, but ultimately they're intended to control and manipulate you. They will try and control who you see, who you spend time with, monitoring or stalking you on social media, or even using jealousy as a sign of love. These behaviors may begin so slowly at the beginning that you might not even notice them. You may ask yourself, why would someone emotionally abuse their partner, their friend or family member when they're supposedly meant to be loving and caring for them? The reasons could be many, and sometimes abusers were at a certain point also abused themselves. One of the reasons could simply be fear. Some people emotionally abuse others out of fear of abandonment, and this can also be connected to the fear of rejection. In other instances, it could be the environment or the household in which the abuser grew up in, where manipulative communication was the norm. Other people are just narcissists and treat people as a means to an end. So regardless of the reason, emotional abuse should not be tolerated. Although there is no way to prevent it in its entirety, I think we all have a duty towards ourselves and towards our loved ones to protect ourselves and them from this type of abuse. The first thing one can do is recognize the abuse. Identify and acknowledge it. It's important to be honest about what you're going through. Then from there, you can work on it. Another thing that you need to do is start making you a priority. Listen to your body and stop worrying about pleasing others at your own expense. Work on developing a positive mindset and constantly remind yourself of who you are. I have a video on nurturing a positive mindset, and I will link it somewhere in this screen. Make sure you go and you watch that one. The other thing I want you to consider is building a support network around you. It is not easy to speak up about abuse, but it's important to identify someone or some people that you trust and share what you're going through. Surround yourself with people who love you and care about you, and they'll be able to help you and put things into perspective. The last thing I want to say is stop blaming yourself. There's nothing wrong with you, and it is not your fault. So you are not the problem. The abuser made a choice to be emotionally abusive, and that is something that you have no control over. I've come to the end of this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you'd like it. Please comment down below if you find this video useful, and also how you dealt with emotional abuse. Until next time, be blessed.